Hello, beautiful beings of light. And now I should say hello to the coalition of the crystalline heart. After the last energy report that I put out and the name that was given to me by my team in spirit, the coalition of the crystalline heart, which I think is just amazing. I received so much positive feedback from many of you reaching out to me personally, just, saying that the name really resonated with your mission, your journey. It just really wonderful kind of confirmation that the information that I'm receiving from my team is reaching the individuals that it's meant to reach. And so that's exciting. For those of you that haven't been tracking me for a while, or if, maybe this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, when I refer to my team in spirit, I channel my higher self, who's named Rhea. I channel the angelic realm oftentimes through poetry. And there are poetry sections on my page that contain light codes and emotion invocation that can help you, kind of move through any tethers that you're trying to transmute, or any feelings associated with a particular cord or tether. So you can check those out. And then more recently, I think around March, I began channeling a higher echelon, fifth dimensional social memory complex that goes by the name of the Terra Group. And from what I understand from them, they are a group of human Earth whose last incarnation was in human form, I should say, or on Earth, who have crossed over out of their avatar, but have chosen to stay holding the grid for Gaia and to assist us in harvest and in moving into these higher dimensional collective consciousness energy. So they are essentially, if you've watched any of my other videos, the Earth is a fifth dimensional planet, and they are holding the grid at a fifth dimensional level, and assisting us in pulling, or anchoring, I should say, in pulling us into these higher frequencies. So the name that they gave me in regards to the coalition of the crystalline heart really resonated in our mission and purpose, which is still in our avatar, to be holding the grid in these higher vibrational frequencies. And part of what I'm going to talk about in today's video is we all have different roles that we're going to be playing moving into these new energies. And as we step through this gateway energy that really began, kind of like yesterday, and, a lot of people are talking about it in regards to the 0 point really being tomorrow on 12/21. But these energies are pretty fluid, and, I've been talking about all the various different things that we've been working on since the 11/11 portal. And, we will just continue to work through these energies for the next 6 months. It's just that as of right now, with this conjunction that's happening, this gateway is opening. We have these new templates available to us starting now. And, now it's just a matter of doing the work that's required to fully step into them. But we are coming online to them right now, which is really exciting and amazing. And I've had like a really intense week. I think many of you have, from the people I've been speaking to. This solar eclipse energy was intense with these, kind of dualistic tethers, coming in simultaneously, showing us new templates, and at the same time showing us where we were still corded in, and what needed to be let go of before we could have our new beginning, before we could step through this gateway that's available to us now. So lots of stuff going on. I'm kind of going to give you just a like a mixed little channeled thing of all of these energies and where we're at, and I'm kind of just freestyling this, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And I'm still trying to like kind of settle in, because when I start channeling and stuff, I tend to get like really you'll notice like kind of itchy and kind of like fidgety and stuff, so you'll just kind of have to bear with me. This is the first time that I've actually tried to put my camera stationary so that I could, feel a little bit more free to kind of move about. And I took some notes, as, has been kind of par for the course lately. I received a ton of information for this video in these channeling sessions, and it came in really kind of last night and this morning, and I've made some notes, but I wanted to kind of be a little bit more freestyle in this video, and just see like what comes through. But so the title of this video and the main energies that we're going to be working with is Ready to Fly and Pushed into Expansion. So as you guys know, we're moving now into a space where we have Jupiter and Saturn converging into this amazing Christmas star that we have not seen in hundreds of years. And it's happening at the same moment that we have these solstice energies. We have these solar flares happening. Many people have discussed that this is also, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where we're moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, although no one really knows exactly when that exact 0 point is. And I did ask my team about that, excuse me, as well. So we have kind of all of these things converging. And if you remember in the last couple videos I did, we were, they gave me this image of this cannon, and we've been working on transmuting these shadow tethers and transmuting these energies. And so it was like this big giant wick that was on, being lit, and we're moving, and now it's like this big explosion of energy. And so the way they've shown it to me is this kind of gateway that is opening up, and as this gateway opens up and these other tethers have converged and we're letting go, we are coming online to this new expanded bandwidth where we will be able to ground in and hold higher dominant resonant frequencies than we ever have had the capacity to do before. And if you've watched these videos, you understand that I am coming from the perspective of tethering, and that is what the tarot group and my team have shown me, which is that all of our power comes from the now. It all comes from our heart. We are corded and tethered into all of these celestial bodies. Each planet holds a different grid for the different energies, and they all run on a spectrum from the lowest to the highest. These spectrums are now increasing exponentially as we step into this threshold. So we have the capacity. Now, does that mean that everyone will be tapping into the highest and best energy tether, immediately? No, because, time is not linear. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is moving through their particular blueprint at the pace in which they are meant to do it. But for some of us, yes, we will be able to step into it because we've been doing this work for years. We've been dedicated to this work for years. And if you're exchanging energy with me, chances are that you have been recalibrating for quite some time. And if you haven't, that's okay too. Like, this isn't a race, and no one person is higher or better, or it's better to be here or there. It's not, that is not a truth at all. So we have these energies happening where we have Jupiter and Saturn converging into this Christmas star. From what my team has told me, we are now stepping into the age of Aquarius. Now, whether that is like definitely this is the point on the calendar, I'm not sure. All they've told me is that to look at it from the perspective of tethering, that we are entering this gateway, the bandwidths are expanding, and Saturn is moving into Aquarius. So we are going to be feeling these predominantly Aquarian energies. So in looking at that, the thing that came to me most predominantly was we have been in the age of Pisces. Oh, and these ages of Pisces, moving into Aquarius, they do coincide as well with the raw materials and the harvest and the way that these time periods run. So everything is, kind of syncing up to indicate, yes, we are now moving, we are moving into harvest energies. We're moving into Aquarius energies. Saturn is moving into Aquarius. We are having this gateway open. So the main kind of theme that they wanted me to relate is with the age of Pisces, it was an age of belief. So it was, you were told what to believe and how to practice those beliefs. And if you didn't practice those beliefs in the way that you were being instructed to, then you were going to be punished in some way in the 3D, in the physical world, and then afterwards in the afterlife. And, this was a big theme in the age of Pisces. We were governed through fear, and we've seen this, come up a lot with this game of pandemic. This kind of like these death blows of the age of Pisces. And like I said, and I've continued to say this whole time, we're moving into this higher dominant resonant frequencies for the collective energies. And in doing that, these pain bodies have been rising up. These collective pain bodies have been rising up to the surface, And we've seen that, as we are tailoring out of the age of Pisces, and then we're courting into the age of Aquarius. And what they want me to explain, regarding the age of Aquarius is that we are now going to start, the feel of it, if you want to tap into it. I'm talking about the highest and best now, is a revival. It's like a revival type of energy. It's a renaissance type of energy. It's innovation. It's new ideas, new beliefs, new templates. So from that perspective, it's really exciting. Just kind of bear with me. Yeah, there is going to be a focus on inventing new infrastructures. And another thing they've transmitted to me is that technology will be integrating with physical reality, and we are going to start seeing advances that will improve communities. So this is all really exciting, innovative, creative, with a technical, with like a theme of technology running through it. So it's, you know, if you think of like the last Renaissance, it would be quite different in the sense that it's still this Renaissance energy, but we're finding a way to pull in all of these creative, you know, rustic abilities and integrate that with our technology. So that is the feel of the overarching age. Okay, you know, like we are we're pulling back, and then I'm gonna, you know, move in. But that is kind of the theme of where, you know, from a galactic kind of perspective of the age of Pisces courting into the age of Aquarius. And you can pull these energies, like you can, you know, one thing I like to do is I will, you know, kind of like if I get a word from them, you know, I'll look up the definition of that word and then, you know, read about the era, you know, that like for Renaissance or revival, and just kind of feel into that energy. And, you know, that can help you kind of cord into the new templates that are going to be available to us. So that would be the first thing. Secondly is this Christmas star and this convergence, this great conjunction. And that is Saturn, okay, which is kind of like the taskmaster and the disciplinarian. And it is conjuncting with Jupiter, which is this planet of expansion, okay? And at first I was thinking, well, how is this, you know, going to work? You know, here it seems like lately we've had a lot of these like very contracted and expansive stop, start energies tethering at the same time. And I believe that to be because these timelines are collapsing and converging onto one another. So what they showed me was, if you imagine yourself as a hot air balloon and you have all of these sandbags that are holding you to the earth, and you think of these sandbags as the lower vibrational or shadow or past tethers from that grid, they are keeping you within this paradigm. And as we begin to cut those or transmute those or let them go, however you want to look at it, of those tethers, and we cord in to the new templates, we're just going to, you know, one at a time be able to fly higher and higher and higher. And that is what we've been working on since the 1111 portal. And we will continue to work on this for the next 6 months. You know, this isn't something that you just, you know, snap your fingers and, you know, boom, I step through it. It is a process of, you know, kind of like when you're cutting a rope, okay? And the little strands of that rope, they ping, ping, ping one at a time. That's what we're doing. We're kind of cutting them away, and each little banded tether is just, you know, cutting away a little bit at a time until finally you're free of that. And, you know, I discussed a lot about how do we become free from these tethers, and that is done through having the awareness of it. And the awareness comes from stilling the mind, gaining control of the narrative, shedding the automaton within, acknowledging that it is existing, not dwelling in it, acknowledging it, and then putting it up for forgiveness, and then it will release. And I know for me this week, all of my meditative work has been around forgiveness, around release, around letting go of the context of some of the stories that I've been trying to transcend. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video, but that is how we can let go and transmute, uncord from some of these lower vibrational tethers and raise our dominant resonant frequency. So we have Saturn that's in conjunction with Jupiter. And we have this planet that's of Saturn that was in the sign of Capricorn, and it's moving into the sign of Aquarius. And Saturn often pushes us into meaningful change. It's much more innovative when it's in Aquarius than it was when it was in Capricorn. So when it was in Capricorn, when Saturn was in Capricorn, it was very much about self-preservation. And, we saw a lot of that this past year, in the paradigm of pandemic, where it was all about self-preservation and, staying in your bubble and, fear state energy. So that was very much in line with Saturn, the taskmaster, the disciplinarian, every man for himself type of energy is what we saw. But as we see it moving into Aquarius, then the shift comes more into other people, your community. And you're going to see, from a global perspective, advocacy. We saw Saturn in Aquarius in March, and at that time activism became a huge theme. So from a global perspective, remember, so Jupiter is expansion, and now I'm talking about Saturn, and they're coming conjunct. So we are being pushed into expansion with these energies. And from a global perspective, what they wanted me to convey is that as these truths are revealed and the more templates begin to crumble and the paradigms begin to shift, many will be pushed into activism. And the other thing they wanted me to have you keep in mind is that we all have a role to play in this. So if you resonated with the identification of yourself as the coalition of the crystalline heart, then your role to play in this is, at this moment in time, from the instruction I've been given, is to hold the grid, is to untether from these lower vibrational tethers and hold the grid at a higher dominant resonant frequency than the collective. You are the grid keeper. You are the light holder, literally holding the light for the heart of the collective, for the heart of Gaia. And that is your role in this. Now, other people's roles are going to be different. And I actually predicted this in a video I did, and I don't remember if that was in April or it was, if you go back, I think it had something to do with like all truths are true for those who believe them. And at that time, I channeled that essentially that all truths are true for whoever believes that truth. And that we needed people believing different truths in order for them to step into their mission and purpose as we entered into this gateway. And so some people's roles are going to be activism. Some people's roles are going to be environmental change. Some people's roles are going to be more judicial. Some people are going to be very driven towards humanitarian efforts. It is going to be very specific depending on why you came here at this moment in time. Because remember, this is a pivotal moment in our history. And we all came with a specific mission and purpose for this exact moment, for this now moment. And so one thing they wanted me to get across was not to get caught up in the tethers that aren't yours. Understand what's going on. Understand it. If it's coming into your awareness, if it's coming into your consciousness, it is meant to do that, okay? But you don't need to get sucked into the pendulum of it. It's making sure that you're the witness, that your inner guardian is there, that you're controlling the narrative, that you don't get sucked into the energy. have an awareness of it, don't get pulled into it. And there is a huge difference. So, we're going to see a lot of activism, and globally, we're going to see people now taking on their specific role and their specific purpose. And you are going to begin to feel like you need to take action because we are being pushed into this expansion. And if you've been doing the shadow work for a while now, and you have released, and you're starting to already feel these new templates, I know I have, you really are going to feel that you can do it, that this is the time is now, and you're ready. For others of us, it will take them a little bit more time to move through the process. So the other thing is to be patient, and also from a global perspective, to be prepared that, your perception will shift. There will be much that is going to be revealed, and to just, kind of take it all in stride. And many of you exchanging information with me here, or energy with me here, are already aware of much of, what I'm discussing. I think there's a lot, even, they haven't made me aware of that I'm probably going to be surprised about. But yes, things will continue to be crazy cakes, and templates are going to continue to crumble. Just continue to remind yourself this is all part of a larger picture. I said before in a video that it's kind of like the Tower card, and in order for us to have these new templates, in order for us to enter into a paradigm shift, we cannot build it on a crumbling foundation. It has to fall, and we have to begin again. And we are definitely going to start seeing that shift globally. And in order to get people into an activism role and, pushing back, there is an action that prompts a reaction. So, it definitely will continue to play out on the world stage as well. And I think that's all I have for that globally. So now we've looked at it galactically, now globally, and now we're going to look at it more personally. Just kind of bear with me. I have notes all over the place, or not in any kind of order. I will read you this portion of the transmission from a personal perspective. They said, as we move into these Aquarius energies of the mind, understand that using modalities, mind hacks, etc., may temporarily get you what you want, but without expansion and unification of the mind and heart, you will still be playing within the confines of the same paradigm. In order to experience a paradigm shift, we must first drop the programs. We will be doing this by clearing memories that are manifesting problems. So that was the other really poignant. And as I was reading that just now, I was getting ringing in my ears very intensely. And they only do that when that's very important. Yeah. So what their other caution is that Aquarius is also a very mental energy. And one of the things we've been working on recently is to get control of our narrative and get control of the stories and the context of the story we've been telling ourselves, and to unify our heart and mind, and to have heart and mind coherence, understanding that all of our power comes from the heart and all of our power comes from the now. And that these mind hacks, mind tricks, things that we use to reprogram the mind, that they're beneficial, but they can only get you so far without the coherence of the mind and the heart together. And that it will be very tempting with this Aquarius energy to just move straight back into the mind again. because it is very technical. It's very technological. It's very, it's a very kind of mind, driven energy. But if you want to really experience a paradigm shift, okay, these hacks, they may get you instantly what you're looking for, but it will be within the same paradigm. If you want to really get control in a paradigm shift, then you have to learn to harness the energy that's being given to you through the mind, but then unify that with the heart and manifest from that space. And when we manifest from the unified heart and mind, that's when we really begin to see a shift in the paradigms. I think that was the other really big message. Oh, and that by doing this work, we're going to really, for the first time, be able to clear these memories, these past memories that have still been manifesting as problems in our lives. I know myself, I've done a ton of work, especially this past year, on subconscious beliefs and, trying to reprogram myself subconsciously. And they have assured me that we will finally begin to see some headway, some real tangible headway with the work that we've done on our subconscious programming, on these, clearing, basically, with this reboot, this recalibration, clearing these energies that were memory based, that were still cropping up as now moments. So that's exciting as well. And I think the last thing that I really wanted to convey, or that they, really wanted me to convey, was, and I'm just receiving this right now, is to really tap into these Christmas energies and the flood of Christ consciousness that's coming down with the Christmas star. Take a minute and go out and see if you can find it in the night sky. Notice these templates that are coming in. They may be small little changes at first in your script, but there's really beautiful energy that's opening up to us right now. And if you just take a minute every morning and write all the little things that are showing up, before you know it, you're going to realize that they are really big shifts. And, the practice that I'm going to be doing tomorrow is, and I heard it somewhere, I don't remember where, but it's basically, along the lines of this context of the story that we're telling ourselves. Like, what stories can we let go of now? And just write down, write down bits of, and write down, where you still have forgiveness to do. Write a list of the people that, you've yet to forgive. And, you might be on that list. And, write down all the ways in which you felt that you were harmed in some sense. And then, go about reflecting upon that and what it means, in your journey, and ultimately releasing it. And you can do a ceremony with this. I'm going to be doing a ceremony with that. And, you can burn it and spread the ashes. You can tear it up. There's, many different ways that you can symbolically let go of these, and transmute these lower vibrational tethers. But they've repeatedly told me that this beautiful solstice energy, the Christmas spirit, the childlike wonder and curiosity, the magic of this time, is really going to be available to us, and we can embody that. So, as we enter into these holidays, this coming week and into the new year, take some time for yourself, and take some time, I've got all my little notepads and everything, to just write down where you've been, how far you've come, and where, you're still telling yourself a story. And are you ready to let go of it? Maybe you're not ready yet, and that's okay too. But just let yourself know you're not ready yet, and then work towards that. We all have a story that we're transcending, all of us. As much as, we think that, things aren't changing or things aren't happening, they really are. And if you kind of sit down and reflect on all the changes that have taken place in your life just over the last 5 years, you'll see that you've made really big strides. That right now, in this now moment, you're doing things that you would never have imagined you'd be doing 5 years ago. I know I am. I would never have been, making this video and talking to you. And I would have been hiding away, channeling my little information in all my notebooks. And, I wouldn't be sharing that with anyone. And, I found my community now and a soul tribe, and just so many wonderful things have come from embracing the gifts that we have. And that is one other big thing. They said that our gifts are just going to, be bananas. That we're going to just have so many new gifts. I really wanted to kind of focus on the highest and best tethers, because a lot of these last videos have been really intense. We've been doing a lot of intense work. If you're exchanging energy with me, you've been in the thick of it, especially this last week. I'm sorry, I barely have a voice. One of the things that happened to me this past week is a tooth broke off, and my whole face became infected, and my face was swollen shut. And so it's just been a lot where, the challenge has been just flow with it, just go with it. And, I'm sitting here on my floor, in front of my beautiful thrift store, tree. And, I want to do a video about that too, about how you can still feel abundant and luxurious, without any money at all. Because that is one thing I've become a master at over the last 5 years. And it's been so fun. But I'm sitting here on the floor. My son had his best friend spend the night last night, and they're in the other room. You probably heard them laughing and playing video games, and I was up wrapping gifts and making presents. I'm gonna do some cookies, and just so many wonderful things, just beautiful things. If we just take the time, to notice, take the time to let go of the narratives, and change the context of the story that we're telling ourselves. So I'm excited about, what the new year is going to bring for this community and for, the members of this channel. I'm looking into some different platforms, and I think that I'm going to be extending my services now in January to include doing a intuitive energy readings for you. And many of you have already received those from me. So if you have heads up, I might be asking you to do a review for me. But yeah, I'm excited about, where I see this all heading and moving. And I'm so grateful to the people that are exchanging energy with me here, because, you all have become my very dear friends and support group. And it's just been so meaningful. And I think we're going to see a lot of meaningful relationships being built as we step into these, these new energies as well. And is there going to be a lot of hard truth and templates crumbling? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It will. There will be a lot. But, it's all a part of a bigger picture. And at the end of the day, our world is taking care of us. That is another thing that they explained to me. When you make that shift, and I was just talking to my partner about this the other day, once you make the shift of the biggest shift you can make in your program is going from my world is out to get me to my world is taking care of me. And once you can really, in anything that happens, no matter what happens, you believe, and I mean you really believe with your heart that the world is taking care of you, man, it's all gravy from there. It's all gravy from there. So love, light, and blessings to all of you. I really hope this helps somebody out there. Don't forget to subscribe and do all that jazz. You know, I'm really trying to like get the word out that I'm doing this. You know, I've struggled with overcoming the algorithms, and I'm not, you know, in a position to be doing any kind of advertising or anything. So if anybody out there is, you know, watching this with a huge, you know, online following, and you want to like shout out for me, I will accept that. I will receive that. So, Merry Christmas to all of you. I'm sending you so much big love. Bye.